Hello, this is Chris, and it is that time again, folks. It's time for a brand new Star Wars reaction. This is Star Wars The Last Jedi official trailer 2. This went up for us last night in the UK about 3 in the morning. I am so not a morning person. In fact, this is probably one of the earliest I've ever recorded one of these reactions. So apologies if I'm not as animated as I usually am, but I'm sure that's all going to change as soon as we click play on this trailer. A little backstory. I always sort of go into what I think about, you know, the previous film or anything like that. I wasn't the biggest fan of Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens. I've talked about that at length on the channel. We've got a review for The Force Awakens, indeed, as we have for Rogue One. I've got many reaction videos out there for all of the trailers that have come out for this. I'll link those in the description down below. But yeah, I wasn't really taken over with The Force Awakens. I was expecting something new. I was expecting something innovative to really push the boundaries of the Star Wars saga and the Star Wars universe, and what I got was kind of essentially just a soft reboot or even remake of Episode 4. I know there are some differences in there, some differences in character and things like that, but for the most part, beat for beat, it was A New Hope again. So I'm really hoping that The Last Jedi isn't just Empire Strikes Back. I've seen a few things out there which do look like they are taking heavily from that film, but I do hope it's its own thing and it can start to move into new territory now. That's all the talking I want to do before this thing. We're going to get to the trailer now. I can't wait for this, and as usual with my Star Wars reactions, we're probably going to be watching it multiple times just to take it all in. So with all that being said, I'm going to click play now.
When I found you, I saw raw, untamed power. And beyond that, something truly special.
Apes together, strong.
Something inside me has always been there. But now it's awake. And I need help.
I've seen this raw strength only once before. It didn't scare me enough then. It does now.
Let the past die. Kill it. If you have to.
I love me a space battle.
That's the only way to become what you were meant to be.
Oh, I like that. Those are the porgs, ladies and gentlemen.
It'll burn the First Order down.
Oh my god.
This is not going to go the way you think. Fulfill
Your destiny.
your destiny.
I need someone to show me my place in all this.
Oh, did they match two shots there together that are completely separate but make it look like the same thing? Okay, this is... Right, we need to talk about this now. I love how this trailer was put together, because one of the things that I've always thought of, even in the first film, The Force Awakens, that came out, when you saw the poster, you had Rey with the staff, and then you kind of had a mirror image with Kylo Ren with a lightsaber. They did something similar in the first poster that came out for The Last Jedi as well, where Rey was sort of like old school theatrical poster of A New Hope, sort of like holding the lightsaber up into the air, and it kind of divided the poster. So you could say, you know, like the light side, the dark side. They talked about that in the first trailer that came out for The Last Jedi as well. This to me is just showing that connection between Kylo and Rey. I definitely think there's a connection there, and not just in finding their place in the Force, essentially, which side to go for. I think this is going to be Rey tending towards the dark side. I've always thought that, and I think the story will be she's tending towards the dark side and Kylo Ren is trying to come back from it and come back to the light. Very difficult now he's killed Han Solo. Spoiler alert for The Force Awakens. But I definitely think it's there, and you can see that on Adam Driver's expression where it looks like, again, they might have matched two completely different shots, where it looks like he's about to shoot down his mother's ship, Princess Leia, and he can't do it. So I don't think he will. I think it would be pretty much impossible for him to come back from the dark side at that point. Although, then again, Darth Vader did murder countless Jedi and was a complete son of a bitch for years and still managed to come back. But no, I like how they've got that connection there. And it's the typical middle part of the trilogy. It's the Empire Strikes Back. That's always a term that's used to compare pretty much any middle part of a trilogy now. But it definitely looks like this is what I want. This is taking the characters and it's pushing them in new directions. Not much Finn in this trailer, but the Finn that we do get in this trailer is awesome. He's going toe-to-toe with his previous commander, Captain Phasma. He's using the Electro Staff again, which he used in the previous movie to take on that one Stormtrooper, who was probably my favourite character, in all honesty, in the previous movie. There's a lot to take in with this trailer. Snoke as well. We get a lot more voiceover with Snoke, played by Andy Serkis. And when I've seen stills and everything like that, they released a picture of Snoke. I think it was a leaked one. I said he looks like Goldmember from Austin Powers. He's got this smoking jacket thing or dressing gown, and it's bright gold, and it's really not what you'd expect from like a Sith Lord or something like a Dark Lord or anything like that. But the one shot we get here with the CGI on him, it actually looks really good. He's a character that I've always wondered why they had to CGI him, other than the fact that Andy Serkis always seems to be the motion capture guy. I think it's a character that you could easily have done in makeup, and it sort of would have matched that new style they kept saying. They kept saying they were a big proponent for practical effects and puppets, and while they did use a lot of that stuff, Maz Kanata, for example, and Snoke, I was like, why go CGI? You could have easily have done that in a puppet or a costume as well. Nevertheless, I'm really excited to see his character, and I'm going to have to watch this clip again because, I mean, it could be just Snoke torturing Rey, or it could be like the Emperor from Return of the Jedi trying to turn her. And if that's the case, I was having a bit of a disagreement with someone last night about Star Wars and this new trilogy, in that I think it's pretty much going to line up exactly the same way as the original trilogy. You got that moment in Episode 9 where you've got Snoke trying to tempt Rey, and it will be, will she go to the dark side? Will she come back? Like Luke Skywalker from Return of the Jedi. I think it's going to go the same way, and I don't want it to. I want it to be a new trilogy. I could maybe forgive Force Awakens for being almost identical to Episode 4 if it was just to get audiences back on board with a new Star Wars film, and then it goes completely new. And I don't know if it will. There is a lot of new stuff in this trailer though. We're getting more insight into Luke's past. One of the things that I really wanted to know in the previous movie was what happened in that vision with Rey during the Jedi Temple that he built, and in the opening crawl when it tells us about that. Most of the interesting story stuff for me for Force Awakens was set before Force Awakens, and I never really got any of that. So hopefully we get all of that laid out in this one. I expect we will. It's going to be Rey coming to terms with her past. It's going to be Kylo Ren coming to terms with his future, essentially. And you're also going to have Luke Skywalker there, who's trying to fight his past alongside Rey. We're going to get that connection there as well, where he's taught Kylo Ren firsthand. He saw that raw power, as he says in this trailer, and he doesn't want any part of that again. If you're going for sort of like an overarching story for us as a viewer, you've got Anakin Skywalker as well in the prequel, so you're having all these iterations of this all-powerful Jedi coming through, essentially. But I definitely think it's going to shape up in the last one where Adam Driver, Kylo Ren, is going to come back to the light, and it'll be whether they're brother and sister, we don't know yet, whether they're cousins, whatever it happens to be. I think we're going to have that face down in the last movie. Hopefully Luke Skywalker makes it to this one, because one of the things I always thought would be really cool to end this new trilogy is to essentially have like a four-way lightsaber fight. You're going to have Rey, Kylo Ren, Snoke, and Luke Skywalker. I think that could have incredible potential on the big screen if we do ever see that, especially if we see Luke Skywalker's green lightsaber as well from Return of the Jedi. I think I've pretty much said everything I can now. We'll watch the trailer again now, just for old time's sake. If there's anything else that I notice in there, I'll talk about it after again. So I'm going to click play now.
When I found you, I saw raw, untamed power.
I do want to talk about those new AT-ATs.
And beyond that, something truly special.
And there was a shot there of what looked like Kylo Ren marching in with stormtroopers. I'm wondering if they go to the island to where either to kill Luke or to see what's happening.
Inside me has always been there. But now it's awake. And I need help.
You just know that that's going to be a scene that you're going to have to play Mulan's I'll Make a Man Out of You over.
It didn't scare me enough then. It does now.
Let the past die. Kill it.
Oh my god.
If you have to. That's the only way to become what you were meant to be.
See, everyone in the background there looks really calm. So that's why I'm wondering if those two shots are connected. It looks like Leia's going to have some kind of vision, like she did in Empire Strikes Back with Luke.
We are the spark.
You know that they're going to release a cuddly porg and you squeeze it and it's going to make that noise.
This is not going to go the way you
Those
think.
weird, like, ice foxes, very different in Star Wars universe.
Destiny.
Nice.
I need someone to show me my place in all this.
Yeah, no, I think they're definitely two different shots there, I think. You could tell from the background it didn't have sort of like the ash or the smoke or the fire or anything like that. So I think they've definitely matched two completely different shots there, but I think the meaning of it is very telling. As I said, that connection between the two of them. I want to talk about those new AT-ATs, and I know that they've released the name for it, but as it's new Star Wars stuff, I'm still trying to soak it all in. And let's be honest, they're essentially AT-ATs. Now, one of my biggest concerns was that, and this is sort of going to Force Awakens as well, in that there weren't really many new vehicles. This is the First Order, and yes, it's picking up after the Empire left off, but like, who financed this army? Was it Snoke? Is he at this casino planet and he's like a gambling addict and he makes his money that way? I don't know. But you know, we had stormtroopers again, slightly different. We had TIE fighters. It was all the iconography that we had from the Empire in this new trilogy. And now we've got the same with AT-ATs as well. And I know they're slightly different. The legs are sort of like more like they're walking on their knuckles. Maybe they've ironed out some of the design flaws. But nonetheless, it's still chasing after that iconography of Empire Strikes Back to me. Especially considering in the last trailer we saw those small like hovering shuttles that are going to be used by the Rebellion. And they're all formed in a line and they're all charging across this barren white landscape, just like Hoth. Against a line of AT-ATs. I think that's pretty much unavoidable to compare that to Empire Strikes Back and the Battle of Hoth. And I want it to stay away from stuff like that because, again, it's the middle part. It's going after stuff that we've seen before in Star Wars. I want it to be its own thing. And maybe it will be its own thing. But for right now, every time I look at those AT-ATs, I'm just going right back to the Battle of Hoth. And I don't want to do that as a viewer. There was one shot I want to go back to, and I'll put the shot on the bottom of the trailer here. This one. So it looks like, to me, Kylo Ren marching in with what look like flame troopers. And I'm looking at the landscape and the floor of it, and that sort of stone or like wood or whatever it happens to be looks very much like the cave that Rey goes into, which we see in one of the later shots in this one, where she finds that table with the, when she talks about the balance and the logo on there. It looks like that tree and it looks like the roots of that tree are spreading out onto this floor. It looks very similar, so I don't know if it is. It does look like a cave. It looks like we've got some mist in there as well, so it absolutely could be. I think that this is once Rey has left with Luke, because they know that someone will be coming for her. Maybe they sense her. Maybe they sense the Force is really strong on that island or something. I don't really know. And then Kylo Ren will go there with the flame troopers to burn this tree, to extinguish it, to put pay to her training. Something like that. I definitely think that they're going to find out their whereabouts and are going to go there and are going to basically light this place on fire, completely destroy it, which will leave Luke Skywalker in a weird situation. He will have to come out of his comfort zone and he'll have to get back in the game. As I've said before, I really hope that Luke Skywalker doesn't die in this one. They've kind of geared it up that way. If he does go out, I'd rather it be in the next film, or Episode 9, and then we can have Force Ghost Mark Hamill, and the cycle will essentially be complete. I think I've pretty much talked for everything I can on this trailer. I've realised that I'm coming up to 18 minutes now talking, so I'm going to cut myself off on this one. Really good trailer, very different style trailer to what I was expecting. Yes, you get the Star Wars hype in there, but this is going into more into character in this one, which I really liked. So that'll do it for my long, rambly reaction to Star Wars The Last Jedi official trailer 2. Be sure to comment, subscribe, let me know what you thought of this trailer. Are you looking forward to this film more now? Which things do you want to see be built on from The Force Awakens? Which character are you most intrigued about seeing in this new film? Anything Star Wars related, please do drop me a comment. In terms of what's coming up on the channel, we'll be starting a new series pretty much right now, actually. In fact, you might see that before this reaction video goes up. It's called Trailer Talk. We're going to be talking about a big new trailer that comes out. Yes, we've had Justice League, which I still need to get on a reaction for, but we'll be talking more about this and we'll be analysing the hell out of this trailer. So comment, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, and until the next video, I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.